Foundation English 1, Semester 1, common to all UG first years, run by Tamil Nadu University as well as all colleges. We have this Foundation English 1, Semester 1. We could see Unit 2.1, 9 gold medals today. 9 gold medals. We'll see the uh, poem first. The athletes had come from all over the country to run for the gold, for the silver, and bronze. Many weeks and months of training, all coming down to these games. The spectators gathered around the old field to cheer on all the young women and men. The final event of the day was approaching. Excitement grew high to begin. The blocks were all lined up for those who would use them, the 100-yard dash, and the race to be run. These were 9 resolved athletes in back of the starting line, poised for the second of the gun. The signal was given, the pistol exploded, and so did the runners all charging ahead. But the smallest among them, he stumbled and staggered and fell to the assault instead. He gave out a cry in frustration and anguish, his dreams and his efforts all dashed in the dirt. But as sure as I am standing here telling the story, the same goes for what next occurred. The 8 other runners pulled up on their heels, the ones who had trained for so long to compete. One by one they all turned around and went back to help him and brought the young boy to his feet. How beautiful! Then all the 9 runners joined hands and continued. The 100-yard dash, now reduced to a walk, and a banner above that said, "Could not have been more on the mark." That's how the race ended, with 9 gold medals. They came to the finish line holding hands still, and a standing ovation and 9 beaming faces said more than these words ever will. So, this is the complete version of your poem 9 Gold Medals, written by the poet David Roth. So, David Roth is an American vocalist and rock star. He has written many songs for his rock band Van Halen. He was also a keynote speaker, and he has received honors, awards, and uh, and his songwritings and composing in Caraway and Falcon Ridge. Okay, he is good at that. David is also the founder of Cape Cod Songwriters Retreat, a forum for musicians, and has raised funds for the past 1.5 decades for the local non-profit to help the people in the neighborhood. So now we are knowing about David Roth. So a writer, an American vocalist, a rock star, and he has written this poem, The 9 Gold Medals. And if you talk about the poem, this poem 9 Gold Medals is based on the true incident that happened in the Special Olympics in the year 1976 in Washington. The linked arm race became popular after the young athlete fell down halfway through. The fellow athletes came back to raise him up and went to the finishing line. The compassion between them has to be followed by people all over the world. So it just shows what love and compassion and affection that the young athletes had who were having actually linked arm race, who were having special kinds of problems with them, but they came with one thought of getting the gold medal. But you know what happened? One fell down, and they didn't give up. They all came around and helped him out and then raised him up, and all the 4 ran once again back to the finishing line, and they all won the first place. That is what is very important about this particular Special Olympics that happened in the year 1976, and that is what David Roth is trying to portray to you in the poem 9 Gold Medals. And we see some glossaries over here. We have spectators, persons who are watching, then block the 2 straight blocks on the ground, and resolved means determined, poised, ready, pistol, a starting pistol used to signal, and then we have stumbled, hit his foot against something and fell down, staggered is lost balance, then assault is black tarred road, and anguish, pain, and disappointed. So these are the words which you'll see in the poem, and I've given you a small vocabulary for it. And when we get back to the paraphrase of the poem, the athletes have come to participate in the games to show their sportsmanship, and have their aim to get medals of either gold, silver, or bronze. Everybody came to get their winning points, but they have undergone many weeks and months of training to take part in the event. Okay, but what happened? The spectators have gathered around the old field stadium to watch the final day of the event, and you could see many people have come to witness the young men and women participate, and they were cheering with enthusiasm. They were also excited and joyous to see the game. The track was all lined up with the participants. There were 9 people who were ready to at the starting line. They were composed to listen to the gunshot as they began their 100-meter dash race. So this is the real scenario of that 1976 game, and the people were all ready, the spectators were ready, the 9 participants were also ready, lined up to get to hear the gunshot to run. Then the pistol sound was heard, and the young athletes ran towards the track, but to their dismay, the young athlete was not steady with his feet and fell down on the black road. Okay, so one of the athlete was not steady, and so he fell in his, on the black road. He cried loudly out of his anger and disappointment. He has done years of practice, but his dreams were shattered to dust. So you know how very much of work they'll be doing before they could come for this athletes. And when this all his dreams were shattered, like he fell down, he felt very very sad. So the poet says that so far he has told what has happened, but what happened next was something which has created the history. So the other 8 athletes who were running to the end came back. This is what is called, they would have run, and see somebody falling down is not something very new. Somebody will fall down. But what is the reality is the 8 people who ran, they came back and they gave hold of, they helped this one who fell down. They also had their training for many months, but they never hesitated to come and lift the boy. So they too had a lot of practice, but they didn't want to give up someone who has also put a lot of effort to be the first year. So they came back, they pulled him up. Okay, and all 9 runners joined their hands and started walking to the finish line. The 100-yard race was now turned to a walk, and together touched the finishing line. The banner in the stadium said that it was a special Olympics for the differently abled persons. There are no words to mark the special event. The 9 athletes walking hand in hand were given 9 gold medals. The touch of compassion of the 9 racers with their bright and happy faces has taught a message to the world. The standing ovation of the crowd marks a new beginning, and it lacks the words to explain the wonderful moment. So this is something very very great and very very nice. You could see that all of them had helped one another. They were all differently abled people, but still no words to say the special. Uh, it marked a special event that day, and the athletes were walking hand in hand and touching the finishing point, and all the 9 were given the gold medals. This is what is called a compassionate world. Okay, it's a new beginning. So when we talk about the question answers, you can see they stand for the winners who secure first, second, third places in the sports, so that you know. How were the spectators in the stadium? Like the spectators are cheering and shouting with enthusiasm as it was the last day of the Special Olympics. Okay, and right about the Special Olympics, like I told you, the poem tells about the Special Olympics which are held once every 2 years, whereas an Olympics is conducted every once 4 years. Okay, so the Special Olympics is conducted for children and adults who have intellectual disabilities. It is a boost confidence and sportsmanship, and they were given training throughout the year to participate in this Olympics. So this is something very special. Only is made for them, and it is made for 2 years once. So the opposites, if you want to pick, like you can see that the stands are old, young, and man, women, all that you can give a stand. 100-yard dash now reduced to walk, explain the name. So like you said, a 100-meter run considered to be the most prestigious one was taken as a walk in the Special Olympics. Because they all walked and came and touched the finishing line. So this marks all 8 racers helping the athlete who fell down and walked along with them to finish the line. All 9 were given gold medals. So this is the explanation for that line you can give, and this marks the lessons 9 gold medal story. So you can learn the paraphrase, or you can read the poem, or you can get the glossaries, or you can learn your question answers. So it's all left up to you to decide to learn for your exams. Thank you, students.